We thought we had seen it all, from mass murders, psychopaths, hooligans, and serial killers to even presidents. Cops have been on a roll arresting people of all types, but have seen cases where they arrest FBI agents. Were they rightly arrested? And do wrongful arrests of law enforcement officials call for the arrest with heavier punishments? Join us as we check a look at bizarre cases where dumb decisions from cops take them to rather odd position. So why don't we just kick things off with a crossover story of an FBI agent who has been wrongfully jailed? In our first case, the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department detained a former FBI agent for no apparent reason. It was a bizarre and ridiculous incident. As it turned out, Roger Golubski, a former detective, had been falsely accused of assaulting two black women between 1998 and 2002. There have been 2 accusations, to be exact. The real question is, however, how did the Kansas City police force allow him to get away with it for so long? Roger Golubski's unsolved case was discovered by the FBI while it was looking into the Kansas City Police Department's behavior. The former detective had a history of sexually assaulting women over the course of his 35-year career as a police officer and had been trading drugs for information. Lamonte McIntyre, a young black man, was accused of committing a double homicide by Golubski during his time as a police officer. McIntyre was ultimately freed after serving 24 years in prison without proper cause as a result. Golubski was taken into custody by the FBI on suspicion of 6 counts of sexually assaulting 2 black women. He has since entered a not guilty plea. Despite the jury rejecting his lawyer's request for release on medical grounds, he was kept in custody for routine medical examination. Black woman Rhonda Tribute, whose corpse was discovered in 1998, was one of Golubski's informants. Her case remains unsolved despite the fact that the investigation was started but never finished. She died, and Golubski's involvement is now being called into question by many people. That is exactly what we are saying. Many civil rights advocates across the nation have praised the arrest of Golubski, but it also raises serious questions about police behavior and the abuse of their authority. According to Tricia Bullnell, the director of the Midwest Innocence Project, a full investigation into the abuses in Wyandotte County and systematic reforms are needed to ensure that no other police officers and public officials can continue to abuse their power. As more of Golubski's crimes were discovered, it became clear that the Kansas City Police Department needed significant restructuring. Several inquiries remain unanswered as a result of the FBI's inquiry into the department. Roger Golubski's arrest was long overdue, but it's worth noting that it was the FBI, not the Kansas City Police, who brought him to justice. Next up, with the arrest of 2 Drug Enforcement Administration officers by the FBI in Nassau County, Florida, the situation has unexpectedly turned around. The DEA, a law enforcement organization renowned for its aggressive efforts to combat the drug trade, has charged 2 officers with drug-related offenses. But the system's level of dysfunction clearly remains unclear. While selling drugs, including cocaine, that had been seized to willing customers, Sergeant James Hickox was captured with his hand in a cookie jar. His greed knew no bounds as he also combined drugs with other substances to make up the weight difference and kept parts for himself. In his bedroom closet, the FBI discovered 3 shoeboxes, each containing $100,000 in cash. They also discovered another $200,000 hidden in his garage. Hickox claimed that he borrowed the funds for his claim by partaking in his gambling habit when asked where the money came from. Hickox's actions have hurt the DEA's reputation and are obviously a breach of his obligations as a law enforcement officer. Joshua Erie, a highway inspector, had been covered in the same drugs that had to be seized, even going so far as to legally approve the prescription of 43 oxycodone pills. He purchased drugs from drug dealers. As if that weren't enough, while under the influence of drugs, he acquired a gun. Due to the fact that he was trusted with the law rather than the law itself, Erie's actions were not only wrong, but also dangerous. The surprise arrest of these officers leaves the public wondering just how pervasive corruption is within law enforcement organizations. Sheriff Bill Leeper expressed his dissatisfaction by saying, "I think we need to make sure law enforcement personnel who violate the law are held accountable. When I learned of the accusations, I was shocked, let down, repulsed, and beyond angry. These incidents where the police ran into the FBI were some of the most shocking ones. We now look at our last and final case. A significant mishap that made headlines involved the case of mistaken identity between a Florida deputy and an FBI agent. When he received a call from a man claiming to be an FBI agent and asking to meet him in a nearby parking lot, Officer Gordon found himself in a precarious situation. This is a classic illustration of what can go wrong if a person doesn't confirm the identity of the person they're meeting, especially when speaking to a police officer. I do, but I don't understand what the problem is with your meeting me at the office. I'll talk to the U.S. Attorney's Office about it. Cut off the recording device now." "Okay, well, I will when I leave the area, sir." "Well, I will when I leave the area, sir." Asked the officer to turn off his recording device. Suspicions should have been aroused. However, Officer Gordon continued to record the conversation, a classic move. This was a wise decision as well, because it provided proof of what had happened, which, as you can probably guess, didn't turn out too well for Officer Gordon. Despite Agent Hatton's efforts to persuade Gordon that he was an FBI agent, the officer was skeptical and demanded to know how the agent obtained his phone number. Given the predicament the officer was in, it is not shocking that he requested assistance and handcuffed Agent Hatton. However, things started to spiral out of control. It got worse when Hatton shut the car door, especially considering how hot it was in Florida. It's fortunate that Agent Hatton's condition didn't worsen because Gordon made a bad choice in doing this. Concerns were raised by Officer Gordon regarding Agent Hatton's investigation into the actions of law enforcement agencies in North Florida. Agent Hatton's claims that he was an FBI agent may not have been taken seriously by the officer because he was aware of the widespread corruption within the police department and worried about being connected to it. Let's say his ego overcame him. The hour-long incident took place on December 20 in a parking lot off U.S. Highway 98 in the coastal fishing community, 45 miles southwest of Tallahassee. Due to the heat, Agent Hatton, who was shielded from the elements by a bulletproof vest and had limited access to air conditioning, started to experience health problems like nausea and suffocation. He, however, avoided a fatal situation by being taken to a nearby hospital, where he received treatment for dehydration and heat exhaustion before being released. What do you think of our list? Do you think there are more corrupt officials out there? Sound off in the comments below. And while you are at it, make sure to hit subscribe and leave a like for more such content. Thanks for watching.
Hey man, how's it going?
All right, how about you?
Good.
Give your name and badge number, please.
Yeah, it's Officer Chris. My badge is 1641. Is there
Officer
a reason
Grit.
why you're recording our bus?
Yeah, I'm gathering content for a story.
Sorry.
Personal story.
What about?
It doesn't matter.
Okay. Is there something we can help you with or help answer any questions for you?
Nothing at all. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Are you able to give me your information just so I know who I'm talking to?
Negative. You can call me good citizen.
What is it?
Good citizen is what you can call me.
Okay. Is there any reason I gotta know why you're...
Am I being detained?
The lady cops come into the frame and ask the individual about why he is recording, to which the individual assertively asks for the name and badge number of a lady cop, suggesting a desire for accountability or documentation of the interaction. The lady exits the scene.
I know I'm not on state grounds, though.
You are. If you go on the other side of the south side, you're more welcome to do that.
This is actually a public thoroughfare,
So I'd
right?
like you
If
to
I
go on
was
the other side of
if
the
I was
stop
coming to
sign.
visit somebody, I could just drive in here, right?
Correct, but on the other side of the stop sign, you're more welcome to do that. On this side of the stop sign is state ground. Seeing how the fence is there, I'd like you to go back on the other side of the fence.
Well, I'm on this side of the fence.
That side of the fence, please.
I'm not sure that I have to, boss.
I'm asking nicely.
I know, I
don't
understand.
want
I understand that. I understand you're asking me nicely, but I'm not sure that I have to do that. I'm here to get some footage. I'm a journalist doing gathering footage.
Can I see your ID? Credentials?
I'm not going to give you my ID.
Why not?
And I don't have to give you credentials. So I'm a journalist gathering content for a story. And I'm allowed to do this right here. I looked up your guys' property line. Actually, it's very public. This is actually a public thoroughfare. So if
this is state grounds, sir.
No, this is, I understand it's state grounds, but it's public.
Then another officer comes in. The individual and the cop they interact with disagree on the permissibility of recording in this context. To support his stance, the individual references a Department of Homeland Security memo issued in 2010, which is believed to outline guidelines concerning filming in publicly accessible areas. Amidst the discussion, the individual firmly asserts their identity as a journalist and their purpose of gathering content for a story. This claim is used as a basis for refusing to provide identification when requested.
Now, is that a law or a policy?
It's a policy. There's no filming on state grounds.
You said it's a
Need
policy?
to go on the other side of the ground.
Is it a policy? You said it's a policy, right?
Correct. It's our state policy. State policy. You cannot film on grounds. I need you to go back over there.
Okay, policies don't trump rights.
All right.
So
I need you to go on the other side over there. Or I will go call the police.
Okay, I mean, I understand you can call the police, but they're gonna, the police are gonna, no, not really, but they're gonna educate you.
I'm just trying to get you to go over there and not have an issue.
I got you, but the police are just gonna educate you, and all they're gonna do is say, hey, this is public, this is publicly.
2 hours later.
And they're saying that you're free to go, so as far as I'm concerned, you're free to go.
Okay, and I'm free to stay as well, right? Officers, free to stay on this public utility, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Hey, what was your name again? Figueroa? Is that it?
Figueroa.
Thank you for being professional. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Very, very courteous. And I will go ahead and get out of here now.
The discussion surrounding the classification of the location as either public or private property. The man engages in a back and forth with the individuals present, questioning the designation of the area. In response to potential interference, the speaker mentions the possibility of calling the police and expresses confidence in their ability to remain on the public utility. As the conversation progresses, tension escalates and the individual becomes increasingly confrontational. They challenge the officer's perception of ownership over the property, questioning their authority and implying a sense of entitlement. The speaker also makes remarks about the significance of obeying orders, perhaps suggesting a critical view of the officer's actions or perceived abuse of power.
I'm just curious. I'm not being a dick. I'm just asking questions. Mr. Helmer, Jay, Jonathan. I don't want to call you.
You've obviously got my name, but you won't give me your name, right?
Of course I won't. I don't have to. I'm a private citizen. You're a public servant. It's a big difference, right? Don't you agree?
Why wouldn't you give me your name?
Just because I don't have to.
Sir,
if you could educate the officers as far as dealing with the public and standing on public property. So.
Who do you work for?
What was that?
Who do you work for?
I work for me. I work for myself. Yeah, I'm independent. Yep.
Okay.
I am independent.
Okay. You got the footage you needed?
Yeah, I'm done now.
Okay.
I'm done now.
You need from him?
Nope. He has the information to contact our public information officer. So I am requesting that you leave our grounds now.
Okay. This is public. Look, we got that straight, right? I'm in public.
You get more and more welcome.
Now I might stay here for another hour. I mean, you know, you can take a picture of me. That's fine. That's okay. That's your right, officer, to do that.
What's your name, sir?
Yeah. I'm not going to give you my name.
Is there a reason you don't want to?
I just don't give my name out.
Are you wanted by the law?
No. Are you wanted by the law?
I'm wanted to do my job.
You got anything on you you're not supposed to have?
No, everything is perfectly legal.
The speaker engages in a back and forth with the individuals present, questioning the designation of the area. In response to potential interference, the speaker mentions the possibility of calling the police and expresses confidence on their ability to remain on the public utility. As the conversation progresses, tension escalates, and the speaker becomes increasingly confrontational. They challenge the officer's perception of ownership over the property, questioning their authority and implying a sense of entitlement. The individual mentions being independent and concludes the interaction by stating they're done filming. The individual comments on the desecration of the U.S. flag on an officer's uniform and criticizes their attitude about it. Now let's move to another video.
Okay. Do you have any ID on you, man?
Nope, I don't need to provide that.
You could probably out in one.
Like, you not running stop like you get a stop across the street. You get a stop the line.
I didn't hear.
What's up, man? Did I commit a crime?
Huh?
Did I commit a crime?
It's an infraction.
Is it a crime?
It's an infraction.
Is it a crime?
Meaning that I'm able to stop you.
Is it a crime?
You ran the stop sign.
Did I commit a crime? Did I commit a crime?
Like, you're really tripping. You really are. Because you stopped at the stop sign to see where I was.
You know I don't have to ID, right?
This one captures an encounter between a cyclist and police officers. The cyclist questions the officers about stopping him from running a stop sign.
You ain't got nothing better to do or what?
What's that?
You don't got nothing better to do or what?
As far as what?
Like, going out and doing your job.
This is part of my job.
This is serving the public?
Yes.
What are you doing right now?
Making sure you don't drive, run the stop sign, and the vehicle hits you. Or causing that driver to swerve, and then...
Oh, so you can't just come and tell me? You have to get my identification for that?
Yes, we do the same with everybody.
You do? What's the reason for identification?
So I know who you are.
For what? Why do you want to know who I am?
Explain it to you because you ran the stop sign on your
Because I ran the stop sign?
Yes.
Weren't you at a, didn't you have somebody pulled over right now?
I didn't, no.
You didn't? Is that right?
Our gang officer.
There was two of you, and that wasn't you right now?
There's more than one of us.
That wasn't you right now?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Our gang officers.
You ain't got nothing better to do or what?
What's that?
You don't got nothing better to do or what?
As far as what?
Like, going out and doing your job.
This is part of my job.
This is serving the public?
Yes.
What are you doing right now?
Making sure you don't drive, run the stop sign, and the vehicle hits you. Or causing that driver to swerve, and then...
Oh, so you can't just come and tell me? You have to get my identification for that?
Yes, we do the same with everybody.
You do? What's the reason for identification?
So I know who you are.
For what? Why do you want to know who I am?
Explain it to you because you ran the stop sign on your
Because I ran the stop sign?
Yes.
Weren't you at a, didn't you have somebody pulled over right now?
I didn't, no.
You didn't? Is that right?
Our gang officer.
There was two of you, and that wasn't you right now?
There's more than one of us.
That wasn't you right now?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Our gang officers.
The cyclist confidently asserts his right to refuse to provide identification unless he has committed a crime. He challenges the officer's authority by questioning the legitimacy of the stop, emphasizing that running a stop sign on a bicycle does not constitute a crime. The cyclist's argument is centered around his understanding of his rights and the boundaries of police authority. By asserting his knowledge of the law, he attempts to establish a position of power and challenge the officer's actions. The person accuses the officers of having nothing better to do and questions their role in serving and protecting. The person requests a supervisor and expresses his intention to file a complaint against the officer. The speaker said that on the fit cop's face, he will file a complaint against him as he is acting very unprofessional. The person's continuously asking about the crime he has committed and why he is being detained. The cop has no clue about it but is following what his supervisor told him to do. The person being detained expresses doubts about the officer's lack of proper documentation or penal codes to justify their actions. The officers mention a possible reason for the stop, stating that the cyclist matches the description of a stolen bike. However, the bicyclist disputes the claim, vehemently asserting that his bicycle is not stolen and challenging the accuracy of the information provided by the officers.
Yeah. But I didn't have to ID.
Traffic
Yeah.
violation? Yeah.
I knew.
That's what I'm like, that's what I understand.
Well, I'm not going to argue about
You're
it.
dismissed.
Thank you.
One of his reasons was because
You guys are both dismissed already.
Stop that. Stop being
No.
Stop being a jerk.
Ma'am, do you have any other questions as far as...
Stop being a jerk.
Mm-mm.
Don't talk smack after
No. This guy needs to know.
Because he's gonna come back to this.
No, he can't come back. Just like I told you, he wasn't gonna ID me.
Like, it's true.
Did he ID me?
Like, that wasn't his initial reason in the first place.
Exactly.
Like, stop this bullshit. You didn't have a fucking reason. You had no reason.
We're about to see the walk of shame.
Stop that. You're a dick.
That's not safe.
There it is, guys, the walk of shame.
The cyclist adamantly argues that there have been other bikes in the area and expresses disbelief at the officer's claims. He repeatedly questions whether he is free to leave, seeking confirmation from the officers. Finally, they respond affirmatively, stating that he is indeed free to go. He zoomed the camera on the cop when he was walking away with embarrassment on his face and told the cop that he'll get famous on YouTube because of what he did in the park. Now we'll move to our next video.
Hey, how you doing? I'm alright, how are you? It's not allowed here to take photos or videos, okay? You need the permission from the administration about that.
So it's not allowed to take photos or videos here?
Inside, no.
Wait, who do I need permission from?
Administration.
From administration? Yeah, I don't think that's the case.
Long Island Audit, an individual, was recording at a public library when approached by security personnel who requested them to cease filming. The person's identity, referred to as Long Island Audit, suggests their involvement in documenting public interactions and encounters. The incident occurred within the premises of the library, where the security personnel took notice of the individual's filming activity and expressed their objection.
Have you not heard that before?
I've heard it plenty of times. It's just I'm surprised because, well, my name and my badge number is right here.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you see it?
Tibbets?
Yep,
640. The pen is blocking the number. 640?
Yep.
And Dennis 647. So what I'm doing here is a First Amendment protected activity.
That's good.
I'm recording. I know you don't care, sir, but listen, if you violate that in any way and interfere with that,
I'm not violating it. They asked you to leave.
Yeah, but that they can't ask me to leave. This is a public library. Can I speak to a supervisor, please?
Despite being asked to halt their filming by security at the public library, the individual declined to comply. They invoked their First Amendment rights, specifically their freedom of the press, as the basis for continuing to record. By referencing this constitutional protection, the person asserted their belief that their actions were legally justified and protected. The First Amendment, which safeguards freedom of speech and the press, grants individuals the right to gather and disseminate information, expressing their dissenting stance and asserting their right to document public events and encounters. When police officers arrived at the scene where Long Island Audit was filming, the individual sought to engage with a supervisor. By making this request, they aimed to escalate the situation and potentially address their concerns with someone of higher authority within the police department.
You guys should call one, correct? So, I'm going to request a supervisor again. I would appreciate if you guys can get a supervisor down here.
In a minute. You don't rule the roost here right now.
Yeah, no, I'm just requesting a supervisor just for
In a minute.
because you guys are a little bit hostile. I can see the tyrant in you, Utter.
Oh, yeah.
You're a real tyrant.
Yeah.
I can see it in your eyes.
In law enforcement experience.
Seeking the involvement of a supervisor suggests that the person felt dissatisfied with the initial interaction and hoped for a different approach or better understanding of their rights. After the arrival of a supervisor, the situation escalated further as the person was faced with the threat of arrest. Feeling compelled to comply with this ultimatum, they reluctantly provided their identification. The threat of arrest likely created a sense of urgency and fear of legal consequences, prompting the person to reluctantly reveal their identity.
I don't, obviously I don't. No, I
Took an oath to it, though, Tibbets.
Jeez.
Dude, why you gotta be such a tyrant?
You gotta be such a tyrant. See what I'm doing there?
Acting like a child?
Yeah, so are you.
Acting like a child.
Did you get permission when you post that video of these people?
Don't need it. They're in public.
You don't need it?
Yeah, they're in public. Don't need it. See, you're learning something here today, man. Come on.
This is not going to end well with you, you know that.
Okay, we'll see. We will see.
I'm telling you.
We will see.
Okay.
I'm not scared of you.
I know you're not supposed to be scared. I don't care.
Okay, great. Great.
Long Island Audit took decisive action following the incident by filing formal complaints against the officers involved in the encounter. Unsatisfied with the treatment they received, they expressed their intent to pursue legal action by filing a notice of intent to sue. The response demonstrates the individual's determination to hold the officers accountable for their actions and seek justice for any perceived violations of their rights.